one thing that I know for sure. This time I'ma get it right.
Hey guys, Adam Oettinger here with ProductiveGamer.com, and today we're going to be looking at the game of Rust and how to survive to the absolute best of your ability. When you are out and about in the world and you're being chased by other angry, hungry, naked men, you got to know how to make the right moves, because you don't want to get caught by that crowd. I promise you that. It will turn out bad for you. So, let's dive into it. The very first thing we're going to look at is, what server do we pick? So come over here to play game. You got several different server options, and the reason I want to touch on this is because there are so many different servers that you can pick that can fit to your game style, fit to your whatever it is you might be looking for, and by making the right choice will help you make this game experience even better. Picking the wrong choice could result in a bad game experience. We don't want that, because Rust really is a fun game to play. So, first thing we have is official servers. Within official servers, a couple different options. With the small being notated out here, such as Face Punch New York 1 small, this is a small map. This means that the map size is about a quarter, maybe even less, of your standard map size, meaning that everybody's on top of each other. It's going to be a lot of action, a lot of chaos. You can come down to a standard New York 2 here that doesn't indicate that it's a small map, meaning it'll be a standard map. So much larger map, much more room to build, a lot less clutter, a lot less chaos for your video card. You'll generally run a little better on these servers. Just your standard map size, and still a lot of action, a lot of fun. So there's a couple other things thrown in the mix here, such as Battle Royale. And what Battle Royale is totally separate from the game. You don't craft, you don't worry about doing any of that. You just worry about surviving. It's just a bunch of, right now there's 10 players on, so it's all versus all. And it's just a free-for-all, running, grabbing guns, and the map slowly shrinks, forcing you into a tighter and tighter arena space, forcing you guys to eventually kill your enemies and hopefully come out on top. But just kind of a different side game, nothing really involving the real game itself. So next thing I go to, there's community servers, which are going to be the same thing as official servers. You'll have the small maps, standard maps, all that good stuff. So the next thing we're going to touch on is modded servers. Now, modded servers have several different mods mixed in here, meaning that you can teleport to your buddies. Some of them have the teleport mod. Some of them have a 3 times mod, meaning you gather resources 3 times faster. Some of them have Instacraft, meaning there's no wait time for instant or for crafting. So several different options to play from. If you get onto, a lot of people do like the fact of like a 3 times, say, resource gathering. Just doesn't require as much time to gather resources, obviously. At the same time, everybody has the same advantage. So on these type of maps, you're going to find that you can build a lot faster, you can have guns a lot quicker, you can run around with armor and not really care as much as if you die with it or not. At the same time, everybody else has that same benefit, the same perk. So everybody's running around with guns. Generally, everybody's running around with really great armor. Whereas if you come over to the official servers, you're going to have more of your bow and arrow fights, crossbows. Don't get me wrong, there's still going to be guns and stuff, obviously, just not as frequent as you would run across in a modded server. Main resources are going to be cloth, wood, stone. So to get wood, first things first, you're going to pull out your rock and you're going to smack the tree. This is not how you get stone. This is actually one of the bigger questions right out the gates. How do you get stone? Stone is actually a little generated rock like this. And it actually has a health bar. You see it's 500 out of 500. And if I start smashing this bad boy, I'm going to get stone. Hooray! On top of stone, you're also going to get sulfur ore. You see it popping up there. I might get some metal ore out of this rock. One of the other important resources to collect, once again, was cloth. So I'm going to show you. This is a cloth plant, just so you know what these bad boys look like. Because once you know what they look like, then you can scoop them up. It's actually hemp. So you're going to be using hemp, not to smoke, but to make your clothes and all kind of good stuff out of. But you can literally just scoop it up there, do is crank out a stone hatchet and a stone pickaxe. Now this is Instacraft, so yours may actually take 30 seconds to craft if you're on an official server or if they don't have the Instacraft mod on. But a stone hatchet is great for wood, a pickaxe great for stone gathering. So you're going to see my rock difference here. I was getting like 80 a pop versus 240 a pop. So you see the difference there to build your very first house. So you have to craft paper, and then you turn paper into a building plan, which I just did there. So I got my building plan, and then the other thing we're going to want is a hammer, and a hammer allows you to upgrade your walls. We'll explain that here in just a second. So find you a good piece of land. It's not good to build next to big mountains or anything, as you can get sniped into your base, depending on what kind of base you build, of course. That may not be a problem, but you want to find you a pretty good area. Now, any base can be raided. Just want to make that very clear right out the gates. Doesn't matter how well you build a base. If the enemy has enough C4 or rockets, then they can blast into your base, okay? So early on, it's very good to find you a nice concealed area to build you just a small little house to get you started. So out in the middle in the open here, probably a bad idea, as it'd be easily seen. You can come over here maybe behind a rock. Now there's another base there straight in front of me that may or may not be active, but you can pick you a rock kind of out of the way and build you a few foundation blocks. Now if we hold down the right mouse button, it's going to bring up all my other options to build. Now you need wood to build all of these things, and you've got your basic foundation. You can build foundation steps, floors for the, say, second stories, different things, walls, doorways. You'll need doorways. Obviously you need a door. Windows are nice. Can be nice at the same time. It can be easily broken into as well. And then stairs if you want to build up, but and then of course your roof. So if you want, we're going to just slap up a door. We're going to slap up a few walls. Now you can at this point build a floor for a roof, and that's just fine, or you can actually put a roof on this bad boy, and these roofs can be a little tricky at times, but nice. So we have a house. Look at that roof, boy. Look at that. That's some beautiful work. See how with smaller houses you can roofs can get a little crazy. Anyways, alright, so we've got our house. Now, our house, if you look at a wall here, is 10 of 10 health. I can hit this thing a few times with my spear, maybe with my hatchet, and drop it pretty fast. So we're not very safe right now. That brings me to my good buddy, the hammer. With the hammer, if I highlight a house, well, for one, if a wall is damaged, I can just hit it with left-clicking it. You see there, it took away 8 wood, and it healed the wall. Now, if I want to upgrade it, which we want to do really quick, is highlight the wall, right click it. I can upgrade it to wood, which took it from 10 health to 250 health. Big difference there. You can see it's going to take a lot longer to get through this bad boy. Of course, if we keep going up, if I go to stone, now it's 500 health and a lot harder to get into. Pickaxes and 10 people can still chop it down, but it would take a lot longer time to get into. Even before building a house, if you run across an animal, try and drop it, because I will explain about animal fat here in just a second, but you can craft you a bow pretty quick just by coming over to your weapons. As long as you got 200 wood, 50 cloth, crank out a bow. 25 wood, 10 stone gets you 2 arrows. So if you run across a horse, not a bear or wolf, because a bear or wolf, if you shoot them, they will kill you. You can take your chances at them, but a horse. Oh, he sensed me. Let's see if I can get him here. Got him. Alright, usually take 2 hits. Break out your hatchet, and you're going to want to harvest this horse here. For you'll see all the different stuff I'm getting: bone fragments, cloth, raw chicken breast, leather, and I got enough animal fat. So with that being said, we will be able to craft a furnace, which is extremely important. Alright, so once you get your house built, you can build you a nice little wooden door here if you want to. which I have crafted here. And one important note, if you take almost anything away from this, is your door can be put on the wrong way. From the inside, the door handle needs to be on the right. So from the outside, door handle will be on the left. Generally, I skip over building a lock and a wooden door altogether. What I will do is, after killing an animal, got my animal fat, I'm going to turn my animal fat. I need 50 low-grade fuel, which I'm going to convert here, and you're going to get ×4. So if I hit 13 here, I should get 52 of them. And with that, I can now build a furnace. Let me find it here. And this is going to bring you to your next steps here. So with my furnace, I can throw in that metal ore we've been collecting. I can throw it in and start to smelt it. Now, one thing to notice with a furnace, you need to leave 2 spots open. One for charcoal and one for whatever it is you're smelting, as long as it's all the same. So in the case of me smelting metal ore, I can break it down into 3 slots. It's going to cook 3 times faster, meaning that the furnace will cook everything that you put in the slot. So by breaking it down into thirds, it will cook 3 times faster versus, say, if I just stacked it all into one. Okay, so make sure to always do that. And when you do that, once again, you're going to have charcoal and then metal shards that will be smelted out of the metal ore. So if I hit this now, you're going to watch and see. Boom, now we're cooking. Alright, once you get 250 metal fragments, you can build a code lock and a sheet metal door. Now, like I said, I will oftentimes skip the wooden door and skip a regular lock just because of all the bad things that could happen from that. Generally, I will take a furnace, make a furnace as quick as possible, or borrow someone else's. And what I mean by that is you'll have a lot of abandoned buildings if it's not a fresh wipe. So you can hop into someone else's abandoned building and potentially borrow their furnace, use it. And I will usually skip over. That'll be one of the first things I try and do, is try and get to 250 metal fragments that I've smelted from my metal ore in my furnace. And then I can build me a code lock and a sheet metal door. Once I have the sheet metal door, I'm going to throw it on here, throw my code lock on here. And with the code lock, if you hold E on it, you can remove the lock as long as it's unlocked, which is what this yellow light indicates. Red light will mean it is locked. But what you want to do first, you want to change the lock to whatever it is you want to do. And you see there, now it is locked. Now I don't have to come through and unlock, open my door, run out, shut the door, and lock it. The game remembers that I know this code, so I can literally just open my door, jump in, and shut my door. And it stays locked the whole time. So you just got to enter your code one time. If at any point you want to change your code, you can do that by hitting unlock with code. It unlocks itself, and then I can come in and change the code lock. Another thing to note about doors, as soon as you get your first door up, it is good to build what people call an airlock or a 2-door system. And all that means is, say I go to come outside of my house, even though I've got this, my walls upgraded, I got my nice door on, I got my code lock on, so I'm all safe and everything. Say I open this door, occasionally people will hear you moving around. They may hear the furnace in your house, and they're going to know that you're inside your house. They're going to wait outside your front door. They may have a water pipe shotgun. They may have a bow and arrow. They may have whatever where they can almost insta-kill you. So you open your door, boom, you're dead. Your door's wide open. They run in, they grab all your loot, and out they go. So just like that, you can lose your base. So as soon as you get this going for you, I would say your next steps would be definitely to come back out, build you yet another foundation. And slap you up a second door. So now you got your airlock system. You can come in, you can close this door, you can open this door. You get killed, boom, bam, bizzle, you're dead. They take whatever you have on your body, but all they can do is get into this room. Alright, they can't do anything further than that. Let's talk about tool cupboards. What they will do is they will allow you to build in an area, but not someone else unless they get access to the tool cupboards. Very important once you get your base set up, once you get your sheet metal door and your code lock on, maybe even before that, it's 1,000 wood. Build you a tool cupboard. And you want to hide this thing usually. In our small little base here, though, our starter base, there's not going to be anywhere to hide it. And what I mean by hide it, you generally want to protect it, put it in a room where you can lock it up, where you can add several doors or rooms to get to it, and make it very confusing for the enemy to get access to it. Because once they get access, then they can literally build up, around, and all over the place. But you see right now I have building blocks. So if I wanted to come out here and build to get on top of my roof to raid my house, I can't. Alright, so I cannot build right now. I'm just going to say building blocked. Now if I come back inside, I can give myself access to the tool cupboard just by hitting E on it to authorize myself. See, now I have building privilege. I can build here. Now, at any point, say you get raided or you raid another base, you want to wipe their authorization clear, you can hold down E for default, clear authorized list. This will clear everybody on the tool cupboard. See, I'm building blocked again, and then I can go back and authorize myself again. So now I can build. So this will just further help protect your little humble abode. Once you get enough metal shards, you can work on upgrading now to sheet metal. By doing this, it's going to take it from the 500 we were at to 750. When you're out and about and you're getting into combat, you're going to want to make sure, you know, early on you're going to have a bow. I like to use a hatchet or a stone hatchet early on for up close, because you can do a lot of bobbing and weaving and jumping and jiving and all that good stuff. And then you can pull out your bow for long range and try and shoot at people. Now, shooting your bow and arrow is going to be, there's drop off with it. In other words, when you aim at something directly, you're going to see it's going to drop off. So you're going to have to factor in for that. You're going to have to factor in, it's not instant, obviously. So if your target's running, you're going to have to aim a little bit in front of them and launch it. But just practice with the bow, you'll get better and you'll learn to love this thing. Clothing is going to help protect you from whatever type damage they may apply, whether it be guns, whether it be some type of blunt weapon, rocks, of course, all kind of different things that you may be better protected against. The other thing to keep in mind is your health down here. Right now at 54 health, I think it's one crossbow to a hit on anywhere on my naked body would drop me. So if I was at 100 health, I would have a much better chance at surviving, you know, a couple different hits. And very lastly, keep a couple bandages on you. Super easy to make. Just 4 cloth. Throw a few of them on there, because if you get bit, if you get shot, if you get hit with an arrow, if you get stabbed, all that good stuff, you're going to have a bleeding effect pop up. And when that happens, your health's going to continue to lower until that bleeding effect wears off. And a lot of times it can be the difference of life or death. And what a bandage will do is actually prevent, it will remove the bleeding. That way it does not continue to lower your health. So bandages aren't going to heal you. I think it's only 5 health they're going to give you. So it's not that they're there to heal you per se. They're just there to stop the bleeding. And it can be a huge game changer in battle, especially if you get shot in the right places. You can bleed for a while, causing your health to continue to drop. If I was to disconnect right now, my body would fall asleep and I would lay down right here. And that would be free game for anybody to loot anything on my body. So when you go to disconnect, make sure you're in your house. Make sure if it's an emergency or something, make sure, and you got to disconnect fast, make sure you can dip off into a bush and disconnect. Dying in Rust. If you die in Rust out and about, then all of your loot is free game. So meaning that anybody can come up and take anything you had on your body. The other part to dying is you can respawn. You'll always have the default option of respawning in a random location. So you get your house built, you're feeling good about life, and then someone kills you, and then you respawn in a random portion of the map. You have no idea where you're at, have no idea to get back to your house, and you're just starting all over again. So to prevent that from happening, it's good to get you a sleeping bag set up pretty quick. So sleeping bag should be right up under here. Requires 30 cloth, 100 wood. Crank you out a sleeping bag. Now all of a sudden you have a place you can respawn. My home. Alright, so if I was to die right now, I can respawn here. if, say, you get stuck somewhere, maybe you jump over into someone's base but you can't get out, and now you're stuck forever and your game is ruined because you cannot get out of there. Oh, but wait, my friend, you can. By pressing the F1 button, you can type in this little command, kill. It's going to kill me, and now I can respawn wherever I have my bag, or the random respawn location, once again, that you'll always have by default. So now I can click on here, and I'll respawn back in my house. Yay! So very nice to get that going. Get a sleeping bag set up almost maybe even earlier than building your house, so that way you'll know roughly the general area that you're in. So once again, if you die, guess what? You can loot anything off your body. Kind of a cheat way to get animal fat that some people will do. They'll kill themselves in their house, and they will chop their body up, in which you'll see there I got 30 animal fat. Now if I go to kill myself again with the command, my sleeping bag has a respawn timer countdown. In other words, I can't just sit here and respawn my sleeping bag every second. So it's about a 250 second respawn time. You can eventually build beds that reduce, they basically do the same thing, but they reduce the amount of respawn time, allowing you to respawn faster and faster. So you can also gift a sleeping bag to a buddy or someone who is online currently. So if I hold E on this bad boy, I can give to a friend and pick any random Johnny Rebel here. So I could give this bag to Johnny Rebel. So Johnny Rebel then could kill himself, and he could appear now in my base. And that's an easy way for friends to hook up and find each other. Alright, let's talk about food. If you want to replenish your health a lot quicker before you go out, or maybe your guy is starving because your hunger bar will drop, or your thirst bar will drop. If you kill an animal, or if you have a naked dude in your house, you chop him up and take human meat. Yes, cannibalism is not necessarily promoted in this game, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do to survive. So you're gonna want to craft a campfire. With your campfire, then you can cook food, including animal meat, or human meat. So I can hold E to open up my campfire here, just like you would do with your furnace. And I can throw some extra wood in there. What I like to do, the easiest way I like to craft or cook things, because you can actually burn the meat and then it's no good to you. If you fill all your bars up, charcoal's going to be kicked out of there, but also your cooked meat will as well. So you can kind of just, you don't have to worry about keeping an eye on it, because if I leave it in there too long, it will burn. So this campfire is going to spit charcoal at me, which I can scoop up or ignore, whichever way. But you'll see as soon as the cooked meat is finished, it will pop out and I can scoop it up without having to sit in there and watch it. Also, while you have a campfire going on, it is very bright, even through your walls. So at night especially, it's just kind of a neon sign saying, hey, someone lives here and we're active. So, oh, don't step on the fire. Oh, well, given this server, it's a little different. It actually cooked all the meat right then and there for me, and it looks like it was fast. So in most cases, though, it will cook the meat and will potentially burn the meat. So now I can take my cooked human meat and eat it. Hope this video helps. Stay tuned for more advanced tutorials coming up.
Oh, we just got shot.